Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of We Watch Shudder. It's spooky short Spooktober. Who's here with me?
It's Spooky Michelle.
Spooky Shorts Michelle.
Spooky Shorts Michelle.
In fact,
My
it is
shorts
not
are so
always
spooky.
Spooky Shorts Michelle. Sometimes it's just Michelle.
Sometimes it is short Michelle. I am only 5'3".
Sometimes it's also Spooky Michelle.
Sometimes it is Spooky Michelle. If I haven't eaten, oh man, that's scary.
You have the privilege today, ladies and gentlemen, of being joined by Spooky Shorts Michelle. It's Spooktober. Yep. You guys do the thing, right, where you watch a horror movie every day in October because you're a crazy person. Me and Michelle do that. We've done that for a long time. And then last year we did this podcast, and then we were like, hey, we should put out a new episode every day in October. And man, that was a lot of work. But then we'd already set the bar, and now we can't just do year 2 and not do it again. But we wanted to figure out a way to do it with only kind of half doing it. And so we're talking about horror shorts.
You think that this was a compromise. I thought it was so that we could have the listeners join us. If you needed full-length movie episode every day, I'd do it.
Oh, God.
You just might not be there for every episode.
No, this is what I'm saying. Is this is the only way I was going to be able to get this done this year? I have no question about your ability to never sleep again.
I don't like to sleep.
Oh, God. So we're talking about short films all month long, and then each week in the month we have a little bit of a theme involved. Last week we did short versions of movies that went on to become feature films. This
shorts
week,
that became longs.
Yes, shorts that became pants. That's exactly right. It was a short film and a pants film.
Love it.
But what's the gimmick this week, Michelle?
Our gimmick this week is that we watched Ari Aster's original short film catalog.
Yeah, we did that. He has a bunch of short films, and we watched a bunch of them. And that's what we're talking about this week. Michelle had already seen all of these films. In fact, she was one of the first people to ever mention them to me. But I had never seen any of these until we sat down to watch them for the podcast, and it's super fun to get a chance to talk about it because, as we are going to say several more times before we're done recording these episodes in one fell swoop on the evening of September 25th, we both really dig Ari Aster. And so it was really cool to get to see these all for the first time. Man, those of you who are just tuning in for the first time on this episode, big ups to you. You got... You're probably like, what the fuck is going on with this dude right now? But it's okay, guys. We're talking about shorts. I got Michelle with me. What's the short we're talking about today, Michelle?
We're talking about Munchausen from
Munchausen. I love that word. It's a great word.
It makes me hungry.
Munchausen. Yeah, it's
I
like
really Munchausen on.
It sounds like the place you go to eat, the Munchausen.
It's also where Dorothy winds up when she gets taken by that tornado. She winds up in Munchausen, and all the munchkins are like sneezing a whole bunch.
Right.
And she's like, what's going on? And Glinda's like, you don't need to know about that, dear. Here, take this liquid I'm giving you.
Yeah, so Munchausen is the short we're talking about. As those of you who are familiar with the show know, well, at least when we do features, we do a spoiler-free section and give you our ratings, and then we go into spoilers. These are shorts. We're just going to talk about the movies. If you haven't seen them before you sat down to listen to the episode, it's on you. Michelle, tell us all about what happens in Ari Aster's short film, Munchausen.
Yes, Munchausen is a 15-minute short film, which, bravo for making something like this in only 15 minutes. And there is no dialogue, and there is only music to carry you through this beautiful journey of a mother who loves her son so much. She loves him so much. He's going off to college. She is mourning him leaving. So she decides, I'm going to make this guy sick. If he's sick, he can't leave me. But oh man, he can leave you when he fucking dies. The end.
Holy shit, Michelle.
You okay? Oh no.
No, I'm not okay. That was fucking amazing. Yeah. Some of you, Michelle, you got to talk for just a minute.
Okay, sounds good. I will use this filler moment to tell you, in case you missed it, there is a book held up during the debate called Mao Way or the Highway, and that's a really good book title. It's got Mao on the front. So that's my filler.
Okay, I think I'm all right now. I inhaled when I should have exhaled, and I swallowed when I shouldn't, and that's gross enough to say.
You swallowed when you
should
have spitted. Yeah.
Swallowed when I shouldn't. But anyway, yeah. So, that's some of you may recognize that word Munchausen as it relates to something called Munchausen syndrome, which is a situation where someone, because of problematic mental health and attachments and issues, more or less slowly poisons someone to keep them sick so that they can't leave them or need to be under the person's care, the person who is making them sick's care. And it's a pretty well documented thing at this point. And so this ended up being about what I very much expected it to be about. Here's what I was not expecting. Just everything about how this movie tells its story. I really enjoyed this. We're waiting until the end for scores. Is that how we do this, Michelle? I
don't remember.
I don't know.
I have completely forgotten.
Well, we did it in the early time on yesterday's episode. So let's do it at the end on this one, and we'll just keep everybody on their toes because clearly we can't organize
it's
anything.
Spooky season.
Right.
The spookiness is us not knowing the format.
I really liked this. A lot of very specific things about it. The fact that it plays out as just a continuous montage sequence with background music and no dialogue. I also really like how this, more than any of the other shorts we're going to talk about this week, this one more than any of them to me represents elements of his visual style, both from a movie like Hereditary as well as a movie like Midsommar. Hereditary in the sense that all those great framings and things where he transitions from one frame into another, and it's, and he like zooms into the dollhouse, but the dollhouse becomes the real world, and those sorts of things. You see shades of that here, but you also see so much of this, like this whole movie more or less goes down in broad daylight, right? And it's got very rich color palette, and there's very sort of light glazing over the top of the sort of rotten core of what's going on here. I thought it was a really well executed story. I had no trouble following what was going on with it. I really, really, really liked this one. What are your thoughts on Munchausen?
This is probably my favorite of Ari Aster's shorts. This is the one that when I tell people that they should go back and check out his short films, this is the one that I direct them to if they only want to see one of them. I think why I enjoy it so much is the contrast. Like you said, there's a lot of vibrant scenes, but then when she's alone and just with her husband, things are very dark, and all of that joy and all of that color and that saturation has been removed. And it's not just the scenes between her being by herself and her being with her son, or her thinking about what his life will be when he leaves. There are also smaller moments like how she is laughing at a show while her son begins coughing, and they are at completely different emotional moments, and it's so foreboding of what is about to come. So I think this one, probably not even like a contest, would be my favorite of the shorts, because they do such a very, very good job of showing like my life is so bright with my son, my life is so dull without my son, but then her life becomes all dull because now, oops, you went too far, lady. The medicine she gives him is feel bad sickness prompter, and I want to know, what was that actually invented for? Like, who was like, you know what we need? Like, is it Epicac, but for like the flu?
I don't think it's a real thing that exists in the world,
no,
Michelle.
I don't think it is either. But I do want to know, in this universe, what was it invented for? You know, what is the purpose of that?
For making
Is it just
sick?
to kill your son?
I guess. Accidentally kill your son. Let's be fair here.
I guess.
She just wanted him to be sick. She didn't want... Anyway, this...
unintentional manslaughter. Slaughter.
Interesting presence in the cast here, at least to me. The mother is played by Bonnie Bedelia, who a lot of people, I think, would most know as the wife from Die Hard, Holly McClane. Bonnie Bedelia is the mom here. Also, what's that dude's name? Richard.
The doctor.
Richard Riley, I think his name is. He's the jump to conclusions Matt dude from Office Space. Mm-hmm. You've seen him in a zillion things. He's got that great like perfect white gray mustache. Oh, that guy is. You guys know who we're talking about here.
And if you don't know, you will when we get to.
When we get to the turtle's head, you're gonna know way more than you probably wanted to know. But
you will definitely know.
No, this was just really, really well done. I was reading some other reviews and thoughts on it. And somebody was talking about how it all just sort of plays out in one montage sequence with just some music. And one of the touchstones that they compared it to make sure people understood what they were saying is the opening scene from Up, and I got real fucking sad again. Thanks, whoever needed to reference that in their review. I have to believe you've seen Up, Michelle.
Of course.
Are you sad
I've
now?
cried so many times.
It's so brutal.
No, I just have no despair left in me. It's all gone.
Oh my God!
What
anyway,
I don't like is when they're mean to the bird. Kevin's my favorite part.
Any of it. It's the worst. Ugh.
I don't like when they're mean to Kevin.
But anyway,
mean to Kevin, I love birds.
So it's that sort of. I really was impressed by how this played out. It's also perfect as a short, right? You would never want to see an entire movie like this. At least I wouldn't.
God,
I guess
no.
I shouldn't say nobody would want to. But as an opening sequence or as a short film like this, this was really and a real demonstration and exercise in the visual elements of telling a story in a movie. This is a real, this is Ari Aster saying, hey, fucking look what I can do. And he banged it. It was so great.
I agree.
Is it clear yet that this one is the 5 skull for me? This one here, Munchausen. I loved this. I thought it was so good.
Ooh, you're going 5.
I loved it.
4.75. Despite being my favorite Ari Aster, if I'm judging it compared to other shorts, there are things that get a 5 above this one. I like Ari Aster as a whole. The individual pieces, I don't think there's anything that's a 5 for me.
That's a quote that we definitely don't ever need to take out of context. I like Ari Aster as a whole. What is wrong with me? Why is that where my mind immediately went? Holy shit.
I don't know.
I have a problem, Michelle. I need to.
But it's true.
I need to talk to a I'm not wrong. You're right. I'm definitely not wrong.
Yeah. You should talk to a therapist since yours died.
Well, the
so
first
funny.
one. The first one
good.
died.
Only one so far.
And then the second one was like, I guess I'm not even really sure what it is we're trying to get out of these sessions. Like, what? Wow, thanks, Doc.
Their entire job. Well,
yeah.
On that sad note.
Anyway, guys, that's Munchausen. Don't poison your children. You just talk to them. You know, it sucks to have to let them go, but everything's gonna be fine.
Do poison them, but not too much.
Right. Don't poison them do your fucking
Just a
research.
little.
Look, if you're going to poison your kid, do your fucking research is all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Make sure,
Google that shit.
There you can buy all the equipment you need to measure things in small, tiny doses. Look, this doesn't have to happen. That was the message of this movie is...
Instead of having a healthy relationship with yourself and your son,
right?
Don't poison your kids just a little bit.
Right. This can be done successfully.
Yeah, this definitely does not always end in disaster. Don't poison your kids, but if you do, just a little bit. I'm getting that on a shirt.
God, guys, this is the second of 5 episodes we're recording tonight, and this is where we already are. I cannot wait until we get to big number 5. This is going to be a good time. We recorded the first week all in one session that ran about 2.5 hours, and it got real wacky by the end, and this one is already off to a hell of a start. So make sure you tune in the rest of the week to see how this shit goes.
Will it go wacky? Probably.
Oh,
also, we are officially past the runtime of the short.
Yeah, this episode is now longer than the short film it is about, so we should probably get around to wrapping this one up, wouldn't you say?
Yep, don't poison your kids, but if you do, just a little bit.
Right, do your research. Say goodnight, Michelle.
Do your research. Good night, Michelle.
We Watch Shudder is a production of Rat Factory Media, your home for all of today's Rat Factoryist podcasts. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests of We Watch Shudder are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Rat Factory Media. But wait, aren't Rat Factory Media and We Watch Shudder the same people? Shut your cake hole, Charlie. Nobody asked you. We Watch Shudder is available free on all major podcast platforms, and the easiest way to support We Watch Shudder is also free. Just leave a rating and review on your platform of choice. Merge your consciousness with ours on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We're at We Watch Shudder on all those social media platforms. Or find us the old-fashioned way, on the web at WeWatchShudder.com or by email at mail@WeWatchShudder.com. Heck, you can even leave us a voicemail at 701-566-9510. No, seriously, 701-566-9510. Try it if you dare.